Well, hello, America and the world. Welcome to this episode of Kennedy Saves the World. Someone has to. So Jimmy Failla has stopped in for our Monday conversation.
Let's acknowledge our world-saving prowess, by the way. We have saved the world literally every Monday now.
Yeah,
for quite some time.
I think it's been 6 years.
The point we're trying to make is you're welcome. Yeah. We've been a lot of world saving.
I've been doing this podcast before the technology was available.
Thank you. A lot of people don't know that. This was originally started in Amish country. We were doing this and we were getting paid in shoe fly pie.
Yeah.
And we're saving the world even back then.
In between barn raisings.
That's, well, the rent don't pay itself.
How was your Thanksgiving?
Oh, man, I'm not proud. According to the wardrobe department, I ate nothing but protein. I eliminated carbohydrates and had a very responsible weekend. According to my neighbors who called the cops at 4 p.m. on Thursday,
4 p.m.
It got rowdy in the field house.
A new record.
I want you to know this, though. This is weird because normally
Jenny's not going to dismember herself.
Not this time. No, but normally my whole holiday weekend is a cry for help. Mm-hmm. I took a page out of our notebook. Do you know how we once gave our listeners a lecture on the quality of day drinking as a responsible act? Yes. Not meaning like day drinking at work, which, well, let's be honest, it's a long season. Nobody goes undefeated. But we were talking about
we're
how...
just playing the teams on the schedule,
Yeah, just playing the teams on the schedule.
Unfortunately, those teams are Jameson, Jim Beam, and Jack Daniels.
And they're good. They full court press, okay? But we've talked about how sometimes if you drink early afternoon, it gives you the whole night to recover and you don't feel as bad the next day. Mm-hmm. This Thanksgiving, I did all of the heavy lifting on Thanksgiving, as everyone does, but I didn't let it infiltrate my Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I actually feel so much better than I should traditionally after a holiday weekend. Yeah. I'm usually on a TV after a holiday weekend sweating in the face. I look like Elvis.
I think that's where our Talking Ham came from.
With Talking Ham. Jimmy Fallon, the Talking Ham. If you ever see the video of Elvis's last live performance, he's singing Unchained Melody, but it's a chained fridge at that point. They can't unchain the fridge. They don't trust him around it. Too many spiral hams, Elvis. Get him another scarf. He's sweating, Colonel.
Yeah, when they started stealing everything
at
CVS, like, what did they do with Elvis? Can we just do that to the ice cream freezer?
So it was restrained. Not on Thursday, but it was restrained from there.
I was not restrained on Wednesday.
Atta girl.
So we stayed at a Hilton Garden Inn, which I know. Thank you,
baller.
Jim.
Holy, I forget. We work in TV here.
So you don't think you're going to meet the bartender of the century at the Hilton Garden Inn. This guy was so talented, and I'm a sucker for tiki drinks or anything like sweet and fruity. Yeah. Mm-hmm. With my cocktails as well. So he had this beautiful menu with the most creative drinks, and I tried a pumpkin spice margarita, which sounds like it would be disgusting. Yeah. It was magical.
I could see it working.
It absolutely worked. It was a beautiful texture, complex, lovely. So it's like, do I stick with a pumpkin spice margarita? No. I went with a peach paper plain, and then I took a turn at the sweater weather Manhattan. So it was, and then I ended with my head in someone else's toilet. And a version of an espresso martini that I tried to make myself last night, and with vanilla sweet cream on top, like they do at Starbucks.
Yeah.
It was friggin' beautiful. So this guy, Corey, and his co-bartender, Kate, two of the finest bartenders in the entire Pacific Northwest, and also responsible for 80% of my liver damage. One night.
Me and you, frankly, I put so much effort into refuting the notion that we're like the senior correspondents to debauchery around here, that we're the worst people in the building. And you just roped me into a show where we're saluting bartenders at a Hilton Garden Inn. No, there's no problem here. We're both all the way above board.
They were so good. I mean, it's like normally a hotel of, lesser caliber than maybe some of the Four Seasons that one likes to stay at. Maybe slightly.
Well, to be clear,
they were amazing and they deserve the shout out.
To be clear, we get booked at the Point Four Seasons. It's not 4. 5-star hotel, but they're half stars. Yeah. It's a half a star. No, I love that. And a good bartender goes a long way. Can I just add, though, because you started out with a pumpkin drink. Yeah. That was 17 cocktail recipes ago. A realization I came to at the tail end of Thanksgiving is, pumpkin spice products are obviously huge. Pumpkin is a delicacy on Thanksgiving. But pumpkin really does get carried. Okay, like Paul McCartney at this advanced stage is still touring, but they blend his harmonies because his voice isn't as strong.
Sure.
Okay, they are blending Pumpkin's harmonies. Okay, there's always a whipped cream. There's always a spice. There's always a thing. Like this is the realization I came to. There's a reason squirrels only eat your pumpkin like 1 week out of the year. You put that pumpkin out October 1st. Yeah. If it gets eaten by the end of November. It's just like, fine, we'll eat the friggin' pumpkin. Okay, we'll go to the sewers before we go to the pumpkin. So I do think pumpkin was really exposed in my house this season in a way it hadn't been in the past.
We did not have pumpkin pie. Ooh. I made a Dutch apple pie. It's literally an apple pie with streusel topping, which is like brown sugar, butter, and oats.
So a Dutch apple pie? No, that is good. So we had an apple pie of sorts, and then I admit to this. You talk about stolen valor. You know, some of my signature dishes are me stealing Steve Ducey's recipes and just putting my own stamp on them.
Absolutely right.
So
I cannot wait for your cookbook.
I took one. It's called the Jimmy Failla, like the lawsuit cookbook. What would you call it? Yeah, we're cooking the books, the chapter.
The deposition.
Yeah, the deposition book. Anyway, I take a pecan pie and make it a chocolate pecan pie.
Solid.
And basically, it's whatever your favorite pecan pie recipe is with a bag of Toll House potato chips at the bottom of the pan.
Chocolate chips.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah, that sounds incredible. And a chocolate pecan pie, a Southern delicacy.
Oh, is it ever?
But if you can insert chocolate into anything, you would be really reliving my prom night.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.
Horrible.
She's not
kidding.
That's
horrible. So we very quickly have to discuss college football.
Yes, we do.
Because it's College Football Mondays with Jimmy and Kennedy.
Gridiron wrap up on the fan.
Washington almost lost to Washington State.
Sure
they
tried.
should not be part of the playoff discussion. They should not be part of it. It should be Oregon. They should just swap in Oregon.
Well, they beat them once. They'll have to beat them again. The whole weekend.
That's going to be the football game of the season.
That one matters. I mean, look at Alabama, who could beat Georgia.
And Michigan is going to lose to Iowa.
That's
my hot take, Jim. That is my hot take, Jim.
I could see a world where, though, emotionally, because they did expound so much emotion in beating Ohio State without Harbaugh and all of that. In theory, you would think so, but I think they're like 20-point favorites. I think they are favored to win. But it was a good week of college football. So this is what is interesting about the college football playoff scenario. Nobody's out of it because teams that have to play conference championships like Georgia, could lose. Yep. Okay. Washington, I don't expect Washington to beat Oregon. I mean, I think Oregon's going to beat them. They should have lost to Washington State.
Yes, they almost did lose to Washington State.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So I don't expect them to beat Oregon. I think they could lose that game. And I think the Georgia-Alabama game is interesting because here's the deal. Alabama, no business beating Auburn. It was 4th and goal at the 31.
Yeah.
Okay, they complete this absurd pass in the end zone, win the game. There you go. Okay, which is revenge for that kick 6 from 10 years ago. But the idea that Alabama is playing number 1 ranked Georgia, if they beat Georgia, they're probably going to be in the playoff as the SEC champion. And how far is Georgia going to fall having one loss?
Yeah.
So I think if you're an Ohio State fan.
What are the last undefeated teams? Washington and Florida State?
Florida State, who's an outlier in their conference. And then you've got this reality of Georgia ranked 1. So I think anything can happen is the point I'm trying to make. Anything can happen. If we can begin a broadcast as monumental as this by saluting the bartender
at the Hilton Garden Inn in
the
Lake
point
Oswego,
is you
Oregon.
Live in America. The reason we keep saving the world is because in this country it's worth saving.
Yeah, absolutely right. One football game, one spicy mofo. Do it all.
And we would be remiss, though, to let the holiday come and go without an acknowledgement. I don't mean to insert topics on your show, but the Dolly Parton cheerleading outfit. Amen.
I thought it was fantastic.
It was great.
She looked great. She sounded great.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone would die to look like that in their 20s,
yes,
let alone in their 70s.
And
anyone who is a hater of that getup, you can.
That's just dumb. Yeah, come on.
You can suck my Dutch apple pie.
Thank you, Dolly.
Said it.
And even if you didn't like the outfit, she got more yards on the ground than the Commanders. She walked back and forth. There's at least 40 yards rushing for Dolly. No, thank you. They should sign her up. I don't know.
She is a wide receiver. Hello. And hello.
And if anyone would know, it's the former tight end to my left. Yay.
Gotta have some height. Jim, we'll save the world next Monday.
Damn right we will.
Consider this done. This has been Kennedy Saves the World along with Jimmy Failla. I'm Kennedy.
Listen ad-free with a Fox News Podcast Plus subscription on Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Prime members can listen to this show ad-free on the Amazon Music app.
Oh, go ahead and leave me a review while you're there. I'd love to hear what you have to say. You've been listening to Kennedy Saves the World on the Fox News Podcast Network.